Well, I've been dyeing yarn again. As you can see, I've been doing some gradient ombre dyeing, and these are the colors that are available. It's 100% worsted weight bamboo yarn. It's called Be So Bold, and you can find more information about the different colors on my website. I thought it would be really fun to show you how to start a top-down lace knit shawl using one of these so that we can see how the color changes from one color to the next in the design. We're going to be using one of these hanks, and we're going to be using a size 9mm or US 13 set of knitting needles. Let's get started. The beauty of a top-down construction is you can continue to grow your shawl until you run out of yarn. So if you buy one ball of yarn, you can finish it when you're done. If you buy two or more, you can make it as big as you want. From top down, you just keep going until you run out of yarn. We're going to start with a slip knot, and then we're going to cast on a total of 9 stitches. You'll have to excuse my manicure or lack thereof. This is one of the downsides of being the dyer of the yarn as well, especially when you forget to put on your gloves. Anyway, we're going to start with our first row being to knit across all 9 stitches. Okay, and our next row is going to have some yarn overs in it. We're going to start with a knit 3. The beginning and end of each row is a knit 3. That's our selvage edge. We're going to knit 3. And it's a yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, and knit 3. And that's an odd numbered row. It's our right side row, and every wrong side row or even numbered row for the rest of the project is going to be to just knit across. So on any row that you put yarn overs, the following row will be to knit plain all the way across. Don't forget to check out the free pattern with chart on my website. The link is in the video description below. It calls out what to do step by step, line by line for the entire project, as well as having charts, which are really handy in a project like this when we're doing a lace pattern in the panels that have increasing. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. So the next portion is to knit 3, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3. In the free pattern on my website, it also has the stitch count at the end of each row, which is really helpful. If you're not sure if you've done the stitching correctly, you can always refer back to the stitch count at the end of each row and count your stitches to see if you're doing everything correctly. Okay, we're ready to start our next increasing row. We're going to start with a knit 3. I believe this is row 5. Yarn over, knit 5. yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 5. Rows 5 and 7 are a repeat of row 3 in the respect that we're just putting a yarn over on either side of the selvage stitches and either side of the center singular stitch, so that we're growing the two side sections from 3 to 5 to 7 stitches till the end. Okay, to recap here, we've worked rows 1 through 10, and on rows 3, 5, 7, and 9 we increased with yarn overs on either side of our side triangle pieces that grow every other row. We have our 3 selvage stitches on each side, and we have our singular center stitch. Now on row 11 we're going to start the lace pattern. It's really helpful to follow the line-by-line instructions in the pattern on my website, as well as to follow the chart on my website, and that information, like I've already said, is in the video description below. So now I'm going to show you how to start row 11. We're going to knit 3, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, and that's to insert your needle into the next 3 stitches at the same time. Yarn over and pull through all 3. So now we've gone from 3 stitches to 1. Yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, that's our center stitch, yarn over, and now that we're going to repeat what we did on this side for the second side of the shawl. So we start with a knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together. And if you're having trouble getting into all 3 stitches, it really helps to take your left forefinger and thumb and pull down on the stitches a little bit to elongate them. It gives you a little more space for getting your right hand needle into all 3 at the same time. Yarn over, knit 3, and yarn over, knit 3. Don't forget to check the stitch counts at the end of each row in the pattern as well. They're really helpful for troubleshooting if you think you might be off on your stitch count. Okay, our next even numbered row or wrong side row is the same as all before. We're going to knit all the way across. So go ahead and knit across this row, and then I'll show you how to do the next lace pattern row. Okay, we're ready to begin row 13 now. And we'll start with knit 3. Yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1. This is our center singular stitch down the middle, and then we're going to repeat this whole side for a second time. Yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, and then knit the last 3 selvage stitches. Okay, we're going to knit straight across the next even side row, and then I'll show you how to do the next lace pattern row. Oops. Okay, we're ready to start row 15 now. And we'll start with a knit 3, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 1, this is our center stitch. This is a good place to put a stitch marker if you feel like you might want one, because knowing where you finished the first repeat, doing the center stitch is a good base point for knowing if you did this side correctly before, because if you made a mistake over here, you don't want to go all the way across and then have to unravel the whole thing. So this is a good place to have a stitch marker, unless you're able to easily recognize the yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, which I am now because I've done this shawl several times, but or variations of it. But if you're not familiar with recognizing that, a stitch marker would be really great here. So now we'll yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 3. Okay, go ahead and do your even side knitting across row, and then I'll show you how to do the next lace row. You can see our lace is starting to take form now. The stitch repeat that we're doing in these side triangles is a 6-stitch repeat, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. It's offset, meaning every other repeat is the knit 3 together over the knit 3, or the knit 3 over the knit 3 together. So what we're doing though is, because we're increasing out as we go, we've got side stitches to take care of that aren't exact multiples of the 6-stitch repeat, because we're only adding 2 new stitches on every increase row. So that's why we have different combinations of stitches to do on the lace pattern rows. We've done everything we're going to need now for the rest of the shawl. Rows 11, 13, and 15 are the established pattern. So as they grow larger, you'll be doing more repeats of those 3 particular rows until we get to the end of the shawl. So you have all of the tools you need to know now, except for one more, and that's what I'm going to show you on the first repeat row. So on row 17 is where the pattern's going to have parentheses and a multiple after it. And if you don't remember good old math days, what that means is that everything in the parentheses times that multiple sign is done that many times. So I'll show you what I mean when we get to that part of the pattern. So row 17 starts with knit 3, yarn over, then it's knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, all in parentheses times 2. So what that means is we're going to do what's in the parentheses, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. That was everything in the parentheses, and it said times 2, so we're going to go back and do everything in the parentheses a second time. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. Okay, if that had said times 4 or times 5, we would have done just that. We would have repeated it that many times, but it said times 2, so we're going to just do it the 2 times, then continue on outside of the parentheses going to the right, because that's the way we read. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, the center stitch, yarn over, and then we're going to do the parentheses again, and it's knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, all times 2. So we start with knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. Okay, that was everything in the parentheses. Now we're going to repeat everything in the parentheses once more, and that's knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. Okay, and that was our 2 separate times of repeating the parentheses, so we're done with that. So continuing on, the next part is knit 3, yarn over, and knit 3. Okay, so you want to follow along in the line-by-line instructions to complete all of the rows to make this shawl, and then at the very end of this video I will show you how we do a really beautiful, super stretchy bind off. Okay, you remember where we started, right? We started right here with 9 stitches and we worked our way out in this beautiful lace stitch pattern, and now I want to show you how beautiful the color changed as we worked our way through the entire ball of yarn. Isn't that pretty? It went from, and because it's hand dyed and I actually massaged the colors into the yarn when I dyed the one side turquoise and the other side pink, by massaging the yarn in between the two colors you get this beautiful blended color that helps transition between the two yarns. I think it is so, so pretty. And let me tell you, it is so fun to knit and watch the color change as you go. That's entertainment in itself. And would you believe the size of the shawl we got out of a one hank project of 175 yards of worsted weight yarn? Cannot wait to block this and see how big it's going to get. But right now I'm going to show you my absolute favorite way to bind off the bottom edge of a lace shawl. It's a super stretchy bind off so that you can get the maximum stretch in your blocking. We're going to start with a knit 1, and then we're going to yarn over and knit the next stitch. Now what you want to do is pick up that yarn over in that first stitch and then pull them up and over the second stitch and off the needle. So you're adding a yarn over in between every bind off stitch. So we're going to yarn over, knit the next stitch, pick up the yarn over and the stitch previous, pull them up over the stitch and off the needle. So in a normal bind off you would knit one and then pass it over, or pass the first one up and over the second. But now we're adding a yarn over in the middle of it, and that's what gives us this super stretchy bind off that makes lace look so pretty on a lower edge. Now you wouldn't want to use this if you were trying to replicate the stiffer side. If you were doing a scarf, like if you had a real tight bind cast on, this would not work to replicate that for a bind off. But if you're trying to make a growing piece or something that you want with a lot of stretch, like with lace, it's an absolutely wonderful bind off technique and my all-time favorite. So I'll show you one more time. We're going to yarn over, knit the next stitch, and then pass the yarn over and the first stitch up and off the second stitch. Now that I mentioned it, a video on different bind off techniques and why you use them and how to to show you which cast-ons work well with bind offs when you're trying to replicate the width of a cast on and bind off edge might be an interesting video. If that sounds interesting to you, please leave me a message in the comments or a comment in the video. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this all the way across. But I'll show you, here's some of it done. See how much stretch that has in it? A regular bind off would never do that. So we're going to be able to really open up that lace when we block it.